I refuse to believe that it's only 11 or 13 degrees today. It feels a lot warmer than that, so maybe I've just forgotten what it's like to be warm. I was actually speaking to Kelly about this, how we always seem to forget, or I always seem to forget how hot it is in the like spring, summer, and then how cold it is in like the autumn or winter. And because of that, I've decided to swap wrists from a watch, because I don't know if you can see that on there. There's a rather pale watch tan line, that you can quite see it there, and that's just my hair being flattened, because I'm trying to work on that time, got the sleeves rolled up again. Anyway, my mind's just gone completely blank. Yesterday was a rest day. Funny enough, this morning I woke up feeling like more tired and less recovered than if I had trained yesterday, but right now body's feeling better for it, but that tiredness is still there, hence the C4, which was definitely today because of the heat. I did almost commit myself not to get it because I didn't want to spend another £3. I always get 2 cans. I feel like buying 1 can is not enough. I do not know why. There's no special offer on. I just feel I need to buy it. I just didn't fancy having a warm coffee, given again the heat. But today's session is going to be a Hyrox focus session. I mean, they all are, but this is going to be the bigger session of the week. I've got 2 20-minute AMRAPs planned with a 10-minute break between. So not sure of the reps and such yet, but I know I'm definitely going to go a bit heavier than what's programmed because they are a bit short. I think it's ski, sled, run, and it's going to be wall balls, and then it's going to be row, sled pull, run, and more wall balls. Yay. Hopefully I can get both of those done by the time I'm there and get through the first one, because there's a session on at 5, it's currently 2:30. Snuck out of work a little bit early. So yeah, let's get rid of Voltan into these AMRAPs. Hopefully the music's not too bass, you can hear me okay. Literally I just sat down to press record. They've turned the volume up, hopefully you hear me right. So now I decided, against my OCD, to pretty much stick with the rep scheme of the AMRAP. So it's going to be 20-minute AMRAP, 250 metre ski, 15 metre sled push, 400 metre run, and then instead of the 15 goblet squats sprint, I'm going to do 30 wall balls, because like I said, I want to get better at bigger sets of wall balls and go at the next Hyrox is to do the 100 unbroken. So that's what I'm going to do in this first AMRAP. Originally I was thinking something like 200 metre ski, 20 metre sled push, 440 wall balls or 20 wall balls, because the reps gives that up. I like things to look, I don't know, almost like symmetrical, if that makes sense. It's probably coming from like my CrossFit head's coming on there, but I'm going to leave that as is, and then 10-minute rest into another 20-minute AMRAP of pretty much the same. The only thing that's swapping is the rower and the sled pull. Row 250 metres, sled pull at 15 metres. Both sled at race weight, although I'm probably going slightly heavier for the sled push, going between the open workout and the pro, because I would like to go to that pro, but at the minute that seems very heavy for me, although I might test it out today actually, because it's only 15 metres and legs are feeling pretty fresh. But yeah, wall ball's going to be at 6, so I'll alternate between heavy wall balls at the start of the week with a 9, and then lighter, more sort of race weight end of the week, which seems to be paying off, although one day I will make the switch fully to the 9, but for now it's working pretty well. So that's the plan. Let's get everything set up and get going. Although the program called for race pace, which is around 2 minutes, I managed to push a little bit harder, go a bit faster, and average around 151, 153, which was pretty strong. Obviously I want to push that next race, and the sleds decided to go for the pro weight, which was, as you can see there, a bit of a struggle to get going. It's absolutely real my legs, but again, being the shorter distance, I decided to just push these AMRAPs a little bit more. But yeah, this sled was tough to push, and I can't imagine what it's like to push on the day, given the carpets aren't the best on race day, and then having to run another kilometre afterwards or before it. But surprisingly, the runs after the sleds felt pretty good. Getting back in the run, still running outside, but decided against it. I was able to get up to pace pretty quick, which I am pretty pleased with. It shows my legs are adapting to being compromised quite well. And then onto the wall balls, managed unbroken 30. And one thing I was trying to do was to rest my shoulders and bring my hands down below my shoulders, was tap my pockets, which you can see. I thought it was quite subliminal, but not subliminal, but can't think, but yeah, not as subtle as I thought it was, but it certainly kept the shoulders fresh. And then straight into the second AMRAP. Again, pushed it a little bit more on the row because I was feeling good and averaging around similar to the ski around the 150, 154 ish. It took a while to get the sled pull technique right because I've not done it since race day, which I realised during this, but going for like the pull with the legs and pull with the arms, which is probably the best technique to use and what I think I'll start practicing on the day. I think I just went for legs and arms, which absolutely knackered me, but this still knackered me as well, given the fact that it was after the row. Arms were fatigued and the legs were tired from the previous AMRAP, but still felt pretty good. Runs again, these felt actually a bit stronger than the first AMRAP because the legs were fresher from not having to push the sled. Also forgot to mention the sled weight was the open weight, so only 100 kilos or slightly more because of the sleds here, but very minimal difference. Same again with the wall balls, managed all sets of 30 unbroken, going for the pocket tap after each throw, which was keeping them somewhat fresh, so they were already heavily fatigued by this point. But yeah, very good AMRAP, finishing the first AMRAP with 3 rounds and a 400-meter run. And the second AMRAP was a little bit slower, managing 3 rounds and the sled pull. Those were some tough but enjoyable AMRAPs now. I've decided to skip the upper body accessory work for today because I've got a plan to do some stuff tomorrow. I think I might do, depending on how I like after this. I don't know why, because I'm a bit sadistic, but I was going to maybe attempt a 4 or 5k run in the weight vest and then do some push-ups and squats like AMRAP just at the end of it, because I found that I enjoyed that last week. Did I do it last week? Or week before? I think I've done it the last couple of weeks after my, I say, long runs, like just easy sort of zone 2 work, just helps sort of flush everything out and then just makes you feel not as sore or fatigued the following days, which is nice. So that's probably the plan tomorrow. But right now I'm just going to go for some a low body superset that I saw programmed, and that is some barbell hip thrusts and some front foot elevated split squats. Now me and front foot elevated split squats don't quite go on because I just balance stuff and I get like sometimes I get a pinch in the hip, but I've done a couple of warm-ups to feel okay, and hip thrusts are relatively light compared to what I've done before. But again, not thinking too much, just thinking about getting that pump, that deep burn in the glutes, and then probably some core work, and then that'll be that. These hip thrusts felt lovely. I could already tell straight away that I was going to get DOMs from them. Kept them very light, but again, trying to move as powerfully as possible, which I think I managed. I think the pre-fatigue from the AMRAPs helped me feeling more in the glutes. I don't know, I could just be chatting nonsense. These split squats took me ages to find where to plant my foot. I was getting a slight hip pinch on my left side, but I think it's the shoes as well. I did think about going barefoot, but I just can't quite find a good spot for my foot, especially in these shoes. They need to be a flatter shoe, but managed to somewhat stay stable. And then for the core work, just finished with some V-ups, which again, watching these back, I didn't realise I could bend that much, and then finishing with some Russian twists, which were absolutely destroying my hip flexors. So just did 1 round and called it there. And it is now time to go through run, and since the body's feeling surprisingly good after yesterday's leg work, quads are a bit sore, but still feeling pretty okay, I've decided to go for a run in the weight vest, although for some reason I'm just feeling very anxious about getting lots of funny looks, people staring at me, but you know, it is what it is. I want to go and do a bit. I just feel, yeah, to have a comfort zone. It's going to be uncomfortable because it is 10 kilos heavier, and last time I this weight was when I first started Hyrox, so it's going to be interesting to see how it feels with the extra 10 kilos on. But we're going to run 4 or 5k and then come back into the garden for some sort of push-up and squat session. I was tempted to get the dumbbells out, the 22s, and do something then, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, yeah. So that's the plan. And I was wondering, I'm going to keep my phone, and I can believe I got this vest. Has a little pocket, a little pouch in the front, so the phone's going to sit in there, and I'm going to run. So let's hit the pavement. Unfortunately, I can't take the camera with me, but you know, I was filming my phone and that, so yeah, again with the yes, let's just go and get it done. Oh. And that is the end of the training week. And you have to believe me, I did run in the vest 5k. Was it 26 minutes around, like 5:17 per kilometre, which was very surprising. It felt very good running the vest. I managed to tighten it, a bit tight in the chest, but it didn't burn too much like it used to always rub my neck, although I'm feeling a little bit tender on either side. So that's going to be fun. I end up in the shower in a second, and then just, that was 10 rounds. I think it was 10 rounds. I think I did maybe 11, 9 minutes 30. I lost count. Should have tried to keep notes, but yeah, legs are feeling surprisingly fresh and strong. I reckon I could have carried on for probably 10k, even further with the vest on. So that's good. Although it'll be interesting to see how I feel tomorrow, and then how Monday's session goes. This still has a knock on to Monday's squats, but this has been the best week of training in a very long time. Everything's just felt really good. I'm feeling back to 100%. Just started to follow the program again. They're sort of conditioning with a bit of my own mixed in, so I feel like I'm back in the groove of training, back in the swing of things. Everything's going well, and yeah, just hoping things to continue the way they are. Tickets go on sale for Birmingham on the 25th, which is in 2 Fridays time. So hopefully I'll be getting there. I think it's a Monday actually. Monday or is it Friday? Anyway, 25th April. Hopefully I get tickets to Birmingham. Hope to do solo and doubles, and then push on from there. I might do that comp in June once I'm back from my cousin's wedding, but we shall see. Right now I'm gonna go and freshen up, chill. Kay's on my over, so we're gonna have a nice evening together, and then tomorrow we're going for a birthday, or a belated birthday breakfast with her auntie and uncle, because they were away for her birthday, so that'll be nice. And then back to it on Monday, and all next week I'm in the van, so legs should be fresher. Although I'm not a huge fan of the van, but at least my legs will be fresher for training, and hopefully it's not too busy. But until then, take it easy, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.